Jeanette with Badass Breeder and 4E Healing Hearts. And guess who I have with me today?
It's Kay. I'm back.
He's back on leave from where? Tell everybody what you've been doing.
So I joined the United States Air Force, as a lot of you probably know, and I've been going through the EOD pipeline in the Air Force. And so EOD stands for Explosive Ordnance Disposal. So we're in charge of all the explosives. So it sounds a lot cooler than it is, but you know,
that's cool. That is cool. I don't know why you take away from that.
Our main mission
Super
is
cool.
Protection of personnel and property. So, you know, making sure the base is safe. In the Air Force specifically, we do a lot of runway clearance and range clearance. So just making sure the planes can take off in times of war.
And where are you at right now?
Right now I'm at Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, the Panhandle of Florida. That's where NAV's Goliad is. It's a joint school, so Army, Air Force, Marines, and Navy all go to that school for the EOD pipeline.
Special training.
Special training.
Very special training. All right, I'm going to put him on the spot. He doesn't know what I'm going to ask him. Those of you that watched Jenna's video maybe 2 months ago, I asked her the same 3 things. Okay. What are the 3 best things about working for your mom and for 4E Kennels, like a family business? What do you think the 3 best things of that was?
Ooh, that is a good question. Okay, so I would say, I don't know if I can rank them 1 through 3, but I'll give you the top 3.
Okay.
I would say one of them is I would say flexibility, being able to have your mom as your boss as well gives you kind of the flexibility to approach, taking time off or, any like mental or emotional things you might be going through.
You didn't do that.
Yes, I did. 100% I did.
No, you didn't.
Or even if I didn't, I thought about it.
You took off work.
I thought about it.
Okay, well, let's just...
But it felt a lot better knowing that you have that flexibility behind you rather than having somebody who you don't really know on a personal level.
Doesn't understand the whole what's really happening in the family.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was awesome. And then I would say it was a good like stepping stone to life as well, because there was a little bit of a cushion that was there with making mistakes and things like that. I feel that's good for teenagers to have in the workplace before, going out and getting a job where any little mistake can get them really in trouble.
Weaning you in.
Yeah, weaning you in. I do think it's really important, even though kids grow up so fast. I think it's important for them to be weaned into the job force. To the job force in this world. It's so big and scary. So I did appreciate all that.
But you also took constructive criticism really well. I'm just going to say that doesn't always happen with kids. The dynamic of kids and moms. Parent being a boss. You took it really well. I think you were really good about switching, I'm an employee. Okay, I'm a son. I'm an employee. I'm a son. And that's really difficult to do.
It was.
Okay.
I think you did a good job switching mom and boss off, too.
I didn't. Thank you, though. I did not. I do not. But I love you. Okay, what's your 3rd thing?
Third thing. I gotta think about this really good. 3rd thing I would say is the opportunity to take on workplace challenges that probably were above my pay grade. Taking dogs to and from the vet for the first time.
Is that above your pay grade?
I would say it was when I did it first time. I just got my license and you were like, all right, here you go.
Just go to Phoenix and take this dog.
Yeah, 5-hour road trip. Just do
go.
it. So I enjoyed that. Having that level of trust to go above and beyond and do things for you that maybe in another job force would have required a lot more experience to do.
Well, I trusted you. And I will say, one of your other favorite things was Kay really loved the dogs, and he loved learning about the curriculum, and he loved helping set up for seminars.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing.
And book launches. You really enjoyed all of that.
Yeah, I did.
You're like, Mom, it's so hard. I remember one time you told me, it's so hard because I just see you at your computer and everything's quiet and you're just typing or writing. And then you get in front of people and you speak at a seminar and you're like, I don't remember what you said exactly, but it was interesting to see.
I don't remember. It is an interesting duality because a lot of the work that Mom does is very behind the scenes, and you don't really see it until she's up speaking at a seminar, doing a book launch, and then it's just like, it's a crazy duality going from quiet, tucked away in the corner, and building this amazing thing that she then presents at seminars and book launches.
No, I would love having you there for all of that. All right, second part, 3 worst things about working for a family business and or working with dogs, having the breeder lifestyle, the farm lifestyle, because you stepped right into that. And
I can definitely say one for sure.
Okay.
One for sure is never being off the clock. Even when you're off the clock, you're never off the clock. I do remember one of the most recent times I had to stay behind and work pretty much all the shifts and make sure, I think I was with Carla, making sure that if a dog went into, labor, that we were there to make sure everything went smoothly. And you guys were all in Montana during the summer on a vacation, and I didn't mind it. I love working my job, and I had just taken vacation a couple weeks before that.
That's the trick right there. He'd just taken vacation.
I had, so
like,
it
you
was.
have to pick one or the other. You can't go on both.
It was just
stunk.
unfortunate timing,
terrible.
but that's the farm lifestyle, feeding the horses, making sure everything's taken care of, because you can't just have everybody up and leave on the farm all at once and leave everything
someone has
behind.
to be left behind when it's a family business, which is terrible.
Yeah. I would say then working with dogs, all of our dogs are great. I have no issues with them, but the unpredictability, I would say, you go out one morning for your shift and a dog is a little bit more hyper than maybe they were the last day, and you go to bring them out into their run and they just take off, and they have infinite energy, and there's nothing you can do about it except sit there and watch them expend all their energy.
Zoomies.
Yeah. So unpredictability, can definitely make it frustrating when you're trying to get things done in a timely manner.
I knew that was coming.
And let's see, number three, I would say, I guess it's definitely fair because it happens in the normal workplace as well, but starting from the bottom, not being on payroll, or not getting paid at all, and just being told like, this is a family business, you gotta help out.
That didn't last long.
It didn't last long, but then
you gotta pay your dues.
Had to pay your dues, but it did feel great working your way up and seeing all the progress you made. Going from barely knowing how to do anything. When I first got here, I was filling up waters and feeding,
cleaning
kennels, and then it got to bottle feeding little ones.
Yeah.
Helping out with tube feeding if it was necessary.
Yes.
Doing all the cool things. So it was awesome to see that progression.
I know, and I was so proud of you too, because you really took on this role of, well, just teach me everything. So, and especially, like, not to be gender stereotypical, but he'd be out there, he'd take the 3 a.m. bottle feeding, he would take the 3 a.m. mastitis compressing, you take whatever we needed. And tube feeding, you were tube feeding at the end too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I taught you how to tube feed, which is really difficult if you haven't done it, and he took it on like a champ. And he was there to see the sadness when we lose puppies and dogs, like the whole thing. And also doing puppy curriculum, like working the puppies through their curriculum and understanding about startle recovery and building confidence and all of that. Anyway, super proud of you.
It's good to be back.
I know, just for a little bit and then back to Florida. There you have it. Thanks for riding shotgun with me today. A special treat. Kay is home. If you took home a puppy in the last 4 or 5 years, Kay worked every single go home day, helped schlep puppies back and forth and get you all squared away and set and walk you out the gate. So we're going to enjoy these next 2 weeks, a little under 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Yeah. And enjoy your family. Those of you serving, thank you for all you do. We live it. We know it. My son is sacrificing for our freedom, because freedom is not free. This question came up from you guys from the video I did yesterday talking about how much weight should we put into a puppy choosing a person. Do we is that the end all be all? Even if we don't feel like it's the right fit, do we talk to the clients? Anyway, that video was yesterday. How much weight do we put into this aha magical moment of, oh, the puppy chose me? Here's the question that got brought up, which is something else I feel is really, really important. And I'm just going to give you my take, because I always work to try to see both sides. I feel like that's what humans should do. That's what people that want to continue to improve and evaluate and have self-growth, is to honestly look at both sides and then decide where they feel they fit within that. So the question was, do you let breeders choose the puppy for the person? Now, from a breeder point of view, I understand. You're like, I know my puppies better than anybody, and I'm not going to let a certain puppy go with a certain family. So I understand what you're saying. I've had those same feelings. Here's my take, though. One, I don't know everything that's going on with the families. I can talk to them, meet them, Zoom with them, feel their energy, see how they interact with the puppies, and still not know everything. So I have felt it's my job to give them all of the information I can about each puppy, what we're seeing at 8 weeks, give them the pros and the cons of each puppy. Like, do you feel you can meet a high energy needs puppy? This is what it would look like. Are you able to commit to that? Does that meet your needs? Or is that just going to cause more agitation with you? Can you meet a more submissive puppy's needs? This is what it looks like. Does that feel comfortable to you? And then asking them more about their life. And some of the questions I found have been so beneficial is, you can't just say, like, what do you want in a dog? Like, that's such an open-ended question, So one question I have found, if they've owned dogs before, what was your favorite thing, or is your favorite thing about a dog you had or have? That can be really enlightening on what kind of personality that they're naturally drawn to. And you can, not everybody can, to a deeper extent. I feel I'm fairly empathetic and I can read people well, so I can feel their energy. So I can pick up a lot within meeting people very quickly, if a high assertive, high energy puppy is going to eat them alive or not. Their tender spirit, their tender energy, everything is so soft about them. So within minutes of meeting somebody, I already know in my mind, okay, well, if they meet with this puppy, and this puppy, I'm going to have a talk with them about, hey, this is what it's going to look like. Do you have problems setting boundaries? Do you have problems saying no? Are you going to have a problem correcting this puppy and holding your ground even when it's uncomfortable, and letting them know, hey, this is not the way it's going to be. You cannot treat me that way, and you're not going to do this in the house, whatever that is. Okay. So no, I don't think breeders should choose a puppy. The other interesting thing about human nature is, when you're told what to do, we know this is a young age. When you're told what to do, you resist. And you find excuses, and you find a way to sabotage it. If I'm told this is my puppy, okay, when I take that puppy home and it's inevitably going to pee on the floor, I'm going to think, well, the breeder picked this out for me. Or the puppy chewed up my favorite shoes. Well, the breeder picked this out for me, and it's going to have this negative connotation. I'm not saying everybody will do that, but that is common in human nature. So now we're pitting the puppy against the human. The human thinks they've gotten the bad end of the stick, honestly. They're not going to think as highly of me. So no, I don't pick out the puppy. I will help them get down to 2. I'll help them eliminate. And when they're down to the 2, and I give them the pros and the cons, okay, this puppy you're going to need to, for example, work with confidence more, and this is what it will look like. This puppy you're going to have to work with being more firm and having your rules, boundaries, and limitations really intact. Do you feel comfortable with that? Or this puppy's really high energy, or this puppy's really, really human focused and tender, so we got to make sure we don't get separation anxiety. How do you feel about that? Now, these are your 2 puppies, and they'll say, just tell me which one. And I said, I can't, I won't. Like, I've given you the pros and the cons. Now I need you to decide, because ultimately I can't tell you deep down what you need, what you want, what will make you happy, what you feel like you have a better connection with, because that's when that perfect match happens. It's when the human and the dog both have the same needs and wants, and their energy aligns, and they can just have this innate, unspoken, symbiotic relationship. That's when people say, that's my once-in-a-lifetime dog. It wasn't because there was anything extraordinary about this puppy or some magical stars aligned. It was the needs both matched, their energy both matched, the way they took up space matched. And so that's what makes it so Amazing. So then we'll get it down to 2 puppies, and I'll make sure they spend time alone with each puppy, just because puppies are different when they're with their litter mates, So just spend time with just this puppy first, spend time with this puppy first, then make your decision. As long as I feel like I've given them all the information I can, I really want them to decide. I want them to have that say, that buy-in, because I would want that. I've had breeders who have just said, hey, here's your puppy. That didn't go so well for me. They didn't know me well, and honestly, they didn't know the puppy well, and that was not a good situation for me. That was not a dog I was ever able to train to go into the classroom. It was so off base. And I also, I didn't like someone tell me what to do or what I needed or what I should do or making that decision for me. At the end of the day, I'm buying the dog. It's my dog. It's my lifetime companion for their life. Hopefully I'll outlive the dog. But I think that's powerful. I think it's part of the process. I think it's necessary. I absolutely think breeders should guide and help and weed out some of those up to fail. But at the end of the day, I want my clients to choose. The caveat to that is, if it's a priority placement, and for me that means we're choosing for service dog work, facility dog work, therapy dog work, or a special placement in a home with a child with autism or Down syndrome, where we're really looking for a specific puppy, then I'm not going to just let them choose any puppy in the litter. It is my job to advocate for that puppy and my clients to set them up for success in the best way I can, find the best candidate for them. So if possible, I do give them top pick or second pick, and I'll choose between 2 puppies. I really try to give them a choice between 2, and I say, okay, between this puppy and this puppy, here's our pros and cons. What do you feel more comfortable working with, training with, whatever. But at the end of the day, if there's only one puppy I feel meets their needs, depending how specific they are, I'll say this is the only one I can recommend. But if it's something you're not comfortable with, or you wanted a different gender, a different color, whatever, on top of everything else, then let's wait for another litter. So that is the only time I will hold those boundaries, because I have to, because I don't want to set my puppy up to fail, my clients up to fail. And at the end of the day, it's really difficult. There's a lot of things just environmentally that could make this dog wash from whatever program they're putting them in, and or self-training, because we're all human and we all make mistakes, and the dog is free will, and one bad experience could set them back and it could just snowball. And so there's so many factors I can't control and we don't even see coming. So all I can do is, hey, this is the best possible candidate for you. Take it or leave it, wait for another litter. But other than that, I really feel it's important that people are able to choose their puppy. This is, their money, their time, their effort, their energy, and I want them to have that power. I think it's just something, for humans. No human likes to be told what to do. When we have free will and we can make decisions, we seem to make a better go at it. We have a better outtake, and seem to have more motivation and determination and commitment going into it. Not all the time. But go ahead, drop below how you feel about this. I love that, and I hope that we can continue to, even if we disagree, professionally share our viewpoints and where we're coming from. I will say, when I started this Empowered Badass Breeder program, I did so and moved into the dog breeding community when it was really, really rough. A lot of judgment, a lot of shame, a lot of long-term breeders or very vocal breeders that just, it was one way or the highway. They wouldn't share. I dealt with them too. How many times I reached out for a mentor or help or guidance, and I found one of 2 things, and I know you guys have too, and I'm just going to be open and honest about it. 1, they wouldn't share, or 2, they would share, but intentionally wrong information. So it became this really tight community of a lot of cattiness, a lot of hurt, a lot of misinformation, just ugly. At the end of the day, just ugly, an ugly community to be a part of. And we have worked so hard, and I just can't thank the breeders that have been with me from the beginning, pushing through this, pushing through the stigma, pushing through the hate, the shame, the judgment. I just can't believe as a whole how incredibly unkind and mean other breeders are to each other. And we're here to change the standard, because our dogs do deserve it. There is a need for changing the stigma and the standard of breeders. and having a community of professionals where we can say, okay, well, this is how I do it and this is why, and be able to continue to grow and be better because of each other. Like, the more brains we have, the more we're willing to share, the more we're willing to lift each other up, the more we're willing to become a community and help each other while also doing our own thing is incredibly powerful and important, and having that connection with each other is invaluable. So thank you to all of you that have been on this journey with me for years. You guys know, those of you that are my moderators and close to me, the shit that we have dealt with, and but all of the amazing things as well. We've created such a safe community for us professionals. So as the year ends, I know there's always so much talk about resolutions and reviewing your year, but here's a different sort of challenge I want for you. Something that's always been helpful for me to do. First of all, to make things real is write it down. I want you to look at this past year, all the movement, essentially, the movement in your program, the movement out of your program. So even if you have to go through your pictures on your phone, your emails, your records, if you use the software, this is much easier. If you use my Care and Curriculum calendar that's in the book, this is much easier because you can just go through your documents litter by litter. But then also movement with buying new dogs or retiring dogs. So I want you to go through, how many puppies did you produce? How many families did you make happy? How many puppies did you lose? How many puppies died and why? I want you to write it down. How many puppies were returned? Okay, I want all of the movement that happened in your program on a piece of paper. What dogs did you buy for your program? What dogs failed health testing? What dogs did you retire? Were there other tragedies? Were there other triumphs? Did you donate a dog? Did one of your dogs become a service dog or a facility dog or a therapy dog? What was your most touching story this year? And third, what was your most tragic story this year? I want you to look at it. I want you to write it down. I want you to see all that you have accomplished, overcome, all that you faced, and all that you did for your dogs in your program. And this is where, it's so funny. It's not funny. I'm trying to retire one of my dogs. She had a whole litter of deformed puppies, okay? Doing the right thing is spaying her and finding her a forever home. So I posted to find her a home. She's healthy. She passed all of her health testing. But of course, I'm not going to breed her again. And the absolute hate I got and the threats I got by trying to rehome a 4-year-old golden retriever, spayed, up to date on shots. These are times, and you all face this, the judgment, the shame, the comments, the social media trolls, sometimes even within your own family, your friends, your neighbors, people will say things. We kind of get stung a lot, right? How many times have you been stung this year alone just based on being a breeder? The fact you're here listening to me means you care, you want to do better, you want to learn, you want to improve. Your program matters, you matter, period. People that want to do better seek out advice, opinions, education. That's the reality. So the fact you're here alone, thank you. Thank you for believing in your program, in your dogs, for trusting me with all of that as well. And I want you, before the end of the year, if you can, if you're not super busy, to sit down and just highlight all the movement. Just look and see how much movement you have. You don't realize how much you've overcome and how busy your year really was. How many dogs and puppies did you place? How many did you lose? How many did you retire? Look at the loss that we deal with as well, even if it's intentional loss, retiring a dog and rehoming a dog. And sit back and just sit in that for a moment and realize how much you've done, how amazing you truly are. And let this be the fire that reignites you going into 2025 to continue fighting for ethical, responsible breeding, to continue fighting for the breed that you love and have devoted your life to, and to continue fighting for the power of a dog and how much they truly heal the hearts of people and how much we really need our dogs. So the gift you have given all year, I want you to realize that. Thanks for riding shotgun with me today. Bye.